Hey, hi all. Welcome back to the channel. So today we will going to look into TypeScript classes, how we can declare classes with its members, constructors, and methods. Then we will learn method overridings. After that, static methods and static members. Then we will learn class inheritance, and we have two types of inheritance supported in TypeScript. The first one is single inheritance, and the second one is multi-level inheritance. So let's look into all of this. Let's say I'll just write down a simple syntax of class, and in that syntax I'll write members, methods, right? The static methods, static members, all of those with the constructor as well. So let's say we have a class called person, right, which has a constructor, the empty one, let's say. Then we have two members, name of type string and age of type string, right? Let's say we have a static member also, a static one, which is nothing but a cell of type number, and we will assign the value of it 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, right? So this is a value, and let's have parameters in the constructor, name, string. Then we have age, let's say number. I'll replace this over here, right? And then we are using this keyword over here. This dot name is equal to name, this dot age is equal to age, right? Let's have a method like get cell, right? And this will be a static method. It will return us this dot cell, okay? And then we have a non-static method, get name, age, let's say, and it returns us this dot name plus some space and plus this dot age, right? So it will return us these two properties, this dot name and this dot age, okay? And now I think we did not added these curly bracket. Instead of that we added square brackets. Now the return type of this will be a number, and return type of this will be a string, right? Because we are returning string only at the end. Now if you look at the structure of the class, right, class name starts with the capital letter, right? And it will have some members, it will have a static members as well. It has a constructor to instantiate the non-static member or static members as well. We can instantiate static members in the class constructor. Then we have a static method and a non-static method, right? So these many things we can possibly return write into the class, okay? So let's say how we can create an object of it, right? So let's say person is equal to new person. So this is how we can use the constructor of the class, right? This is the constructor, and by calling this class we are not calling the class, we are actually calling its constructor, okay? And for example, if I want to create array, so what I can do, I can create a new array, and I am calling the array constructor over here. Similarly, I am calling the string constructor over here and a boolean constructor over here, right? Or the number constructor over here. So every primitive type has its own classes, and by those classes constructor we can create a new uh, variables as well. of those primitive types. So now we have two parameters over here, name and age. Let's pass those. Let's say name is test and age is 30 maybe, right? And now I can access these properties and this method. And for to access the static and static properties and static method, I'll tell you how we can access that. But for now, by creating the object of a class, we can access the non-static members and non-static method of it, right? So let's say console.log person dot, right, name, age, maybe name. Then we have console.log person dot age, and then we have a method also, that is nothing but person dot get name age, right? So this is how we are able to access the non-static methods and non-static class members using the object. How to access this static method and static member, right? To access that, we need to use the class name. Okay, person, right, person dot get cell number maybe, right, and then console.log person dot cell. We have this property, a static property. So there is a difference between over here in the static and non-static. So in the static, we are making use of the object which we have created using the person constructor, right, and a new keyword. Then the static properties and methods we are accessing using the class name itself. Okay, so there is a difference. So I hope you understood the difference also. So let's transpile this file index.ts, then run this file node index.js. You can see the name is test, the age is 30. These are the first two console logs. Then we have a name and age method. So this is the third console log. We have a get cell method call. This is the fourth, and we are accessing the property itself. So the value of that property is nothing but 1 to 9, right? So this is how you can create a class with some fields, with some functions, and a constructor itself. So constructor is very much needed. Without constructor you cannot create a class. Okay. And then after that you will have a static methods and static members as well, right? And we have learned how we can create an instance of the class. To create an instance of a class, we need to use new keyword and the class constructor to instantiate the values. If it has some values, then we need to instantiate it. If it does not accept any value, then we can give an empty parenthesis over there to call or to create the instance. And the again, like, to access the properties, the non-static properties, we can make use of the instance, and to access the static properties we can make use of the class name or the type itself, right? Now let's learn the inheritance, how we can implement the inheritance in class. So first we will learn the single inheritance. Let's say I have a class name car, and it has a cname of type string, and wheel property, maybe wheel as a number. So how much wheeler it is. Then we have a constructor over here. Let's say constructor does not accept any value, and we are giving the static names over here. Tata, the car name could be Tata Indica, right? And the wheels should be four-wheeler. And we have a method called getCarName, which will return as a string. And then from here we need to return a string, the car name and the wheel count. Okay. So this is how the car class is, right? Now what I need to do, I need to inherit this class into the person. Okay, so how I can do? To inherit a class, we want to use the keyword called extends. So using extends, we can extend a class, and because we are extending it, we are now needs to implement its properties. Okay, so now you can see there is a uh, error we are getting. So this is nothing but we need to call the super method, right? So in the child class, to instantiate the parent class, we need to call the super method, right? So you can see we can call the super method, so that the parents constructor gets instantiate. Okay, so we don't have any parameters over here in the parents constructor. That's the reason we are not passing anything over here, right? Now let's see how we can access the values of the properties and methods of this parent class through the child class, right? So for that, I need to again create a instance using the person constructor, test, then the age 30, and now if I console log person dot get, you can see I am able to access the car name property, car name method also, right? So this is how you can able to access the parents methods, right? Tata Indica, and the wheels are four-wheeler, right? So I am using the child class instance, and from child class instance I am calling the parent class method, right? So this is how it actually gives us an ability to reuse the classes. Okay, to reuse the classes and to reduce the code, redundant code, right? To repeat the same code in each classes, we can extend, instead of that we can extend a particular class to the new class, and we can use all properties and methods of it into the new class. So in our case, the new class is nothing but, or the child class is nothing but a person, right? Now let's understand multi-level inheritance. For multi-level inheritance, let's write down again one class class home, right? So here we can have home name of type string. So let's say I'm assigning a value to it. Let's say sweet home. Now its address string, and I'm assigning a value to it, nothing but a test, something like that, test address. Again we need to create a constructor, right? And a method called get home address, which will return me a string, and I am returning this dot address from here. Okay, so now I wanted to include this class as well. So how I can inherit home and car at once in the child person, right? So for that I can do one thing. So this class is extending the car. So what I can do, I can extend the car from the home, right? So let's say extends home, right? And I need to give a super call over here, right? So that it should call the constructor of a home class as well to instantiate it. Now this is it I actually need to do. So this is the first level, right? This is the first level, this is second level inheritance, and this is the third level inheritance. Now the person has, because the car has extending the home class, so that's the reason person also has the ability to access the properties and the methods whatever home class is providing, right? So now I have already created a variable, the instance of it. Let's say console.log person.get home address. You can see the home address also I'm able to access using the person instance or the person object, right, which we have created by calling the person constructor, right? So from person constructor we are calling the supers constructor. Super is nothing but a car, and in the car constructor we are again calling the super. So super is nothing but a homes constructor, right? So that's the reason that is how all of these classes are getting initialized based on this particular constructor, the person's constructor, right? So this is how single and multi-level inheritance works in the classes. So let's say like how we can override the methods. So I'm adding a method over here. Let's say get in the home. Okay, so get home name, which will return me a string. So it is returning me this dot h name, right? So it will return me this dot h name. And again, for this, if you are wondering why I'm using this, so this keyword in the class scope targets to this particular class, okay, using this. And if you are using this into an interface, sorry, not interface, but if you are using this outside, then it will target to the document itself. Okay, so this is how. So it based on use case, like in which scope you are using this. Okay, so based on that it will target to the particular scoped entity. So that is how this works. Now let's say we wanted to override this method get home name, right? And let me write down a method over here again, get home name with the same name with the same signature, right? So what I'll do, I'll call the super dot get home name over here first, and then since it is returning something, right? So what I need to do, I'll just console log over here, console.log get home name from car. Okay, and then I'll just return the get home name over here. The same method I can override again in the personal as well. So let's say get home name, which will return me a string super dot get home name, right? So here super is nothing but a car, right? And then I'll again call console.log. What was that console log? Get home name from car. So instead of car we can give get home name from person, right? And then just a return statement. And let me add this console log over here in the home as well. Get home name from home, right? From home class. Now what I can do, I'll just call the get home name method from this person instance, and I'm calling the get home name method from the person class. Okay, so as you can see, we can have only one variant of get home name. You can see we don't have multiple variant of it, so we have only one. And how it is identifying it, because the get home name method is available over here, so it will use the last the last child's method instance, right? So in our case the last child is nothing but the person, so that's the reason it is using the person's get home name method, and it is showing us data only. So let me comment this too, and again tsc index.ts and node index.js. You can see we have get home name from person, then we have a get home name from car, and at last we have a get home name from home, and then the home name, right? So the actual home name who is giving us, actually the actual home name actually coming from the home class. Okay, so at last the get home name method of the home class will get called. So this is how we can override methods of parent into the child as well. Okay, but for that we always need to do a call, or maybe a make a call to the parents method. Okay, the same method. So we need to give a call to it. So this is how the classes are. So I have covered every aspect of it. So if you have any doubts, you can just pause the videos, or you can rewind and you can learn. So whatever what we have covered into this class, right? Then we have constructor, right? Then we have members and methods. We have a static members and methods, right? We have inheritance. There are two types of it. We have learned single inheritance, and then we have learned multiple inheritance, right? Not multiple, actually, the multi-level inheritance. Actually, multiple inheritance is not supported uh, in a TypeScript. So we have learned multi-level inheritance, right? And after that we have learned method overriding as well. Okay, this is how we have learned this much, and if I'm missing something, you can understand it from the video itself. Okay, so I think I'm not missing anything. So we have learned these many things today, and this is the actually end of this video, and I hope you liked it, and if you like it, then please like the video, share it with your friends, and do not forget to subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon. Thanks all guys, let's meet in next video.